There are so many different ways to make ribs that I thought it would be kind of cool if we tried 2 today. I have 6 pounds of ribs here, 3 pounds each. These are pork ribs, and therefore 3 pounds for each, whatever. Ribs, they're fatty. It should be a treat. And I like to take off the fat, you see? That's just fat. Of the ribs before I cook with them. I've already cleaned these, dried them. My knives are very sharp. But just a kitchen reminder, whenever you're cutting, peeling, anything like that, please always remember, cut away from yourself, peel away from yourself. It's just a safety tip. There wasn't really a lot of fat on this particular pork rib, which is quite nice. On the back, there is a very thin membrane. I hope you can see that. That it's nice to pull that off. This particular sucker, I'm going to be boiling these, so that membrane is going to come quite loose. But to help it a bit, I am going to score it. Scoring is just to cut like this, see? And to cut like this. That's scoring. That way the membrane will loosen up a little better. Okay, let's take this sucker out of the way. He's for another one. I've got an old-fashioned roaster here. I don't know, I guess 100 years old or so. It's clean. I am going to cut these ribs up in about 3 to 4 inch rib sections. See? I've got about 3 ribs in that sucker. In she goes. Let's do a little 4 guy here. In she goes. These are very meaty. So let's do about a 3. Great. Great. We're going to now pour some cold water on top of this. I'm going to cover all these little piggies with cold water. I have 2 baking onions, yellow onions, quartered, chopped. No magic there. 2 cloves, pound them, skin them, throw them in the pot. I'm going to put some bay leaves. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3. Let's do 4. So far, of course, I have the 3 pounds of ribs chopped up and cleaned. I've got 2. I got stuff in the pot, okay? You should have been watching. Salt. How much? I'm going to do a generous amount. I'm going to do probably a generous teaspoon. Pepper, lots of pepper. I tend to use a lot of ground pepper. If you have it, great. If not, just, regular black pepper is fine. I'm going to put in about, I'm going to say half a teaspoon of chili powder. I'm going to put in, what have I got here? I'm going to put in some onion powder. Yeah, I know I got onions in there, but we want a real kick, don't we? Not too much. I got about half a teaspoon. Little paprika, half a teaspoon. I lied. That's a teaspoon. We're done. Now, I'm going to make this like a Dutch oven. This is not the Dutch oven where people do a little, pass the wind and put a blanket over it. This is a Dutch oven where all the heat is sealed within the pot. Now, I just make my own. I put some tin foil over top of the pot I am using. Then I put the lid down on it securely. That is tight. I've created a Dutch oven. Okay, I'm going to put that in the oven at 300 degrees for about 1 hour 15. What I'm doing here is I'm pulling off all the fat off of that, and I'm making the meat very tender. Let's do that first. Okay, let's start the next recipe. Again, I've got this 3 pound pork rib. I've taken off the excess fat and I'm ready to rock and roll with this guy. Let's go ahead and make a dry rub. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of sweet paprika. To that, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. I'm probably going to be quite generous with my tablespoons, as you can see, mainly because I like the sweetness. 2 teaspoons of salt, which is about that much. 1½ teaspoons of garlic powder. 1½ teaspoons of onion powder. 1 teaspoon of cumin. I love my cumin and chili. And 1 teaspoon of chili. Little ground pepper. Let's stir that up. So I'm going to work directly from bowl to piggy. This particular set of ribs, I am going to cook them right inside tin foil, right on a barbecue. So first of all, so they don't stick, I'm going to spray a little bit of vegetable spray. Sure, canola spray would have been better probably. I don't have any. So any kind of spray. Yes, you could even put down lightly a little bit of olive oil. Doesn't he look gorgeous? Look at him. Wow, he's like some kind of an eel. Okay, I'm not gonna put my hands right in the bowl, but I am going to sprinkle it right on like this. I'm gonna use it all up. Then you just pat it right in and do the same thing to this side. I'm just gonna wrap it up here. Gonna put that on the barbecue at 300 degrees for about an hour. Gonna check it in about 45 minutes just to see how we're doing. I'll be right back. The barbecue ribs have been on for 45 minutes, so let's have a wee boo inside us to see what they look like. They smell great. Now remember, these are the ones with just the dry rub. Oh golly, they look great. I have here a commercial barbecue sauce. The reason I'm doing that is because I thought for you cooks who are just learning how to make ribs, it might be easier to just buy some barbecue sauce. If you want a homemade one, look at my chicken and a rib video and I have one there. So what we're going to do now, we're going to use the same sauce on both ribs. I think that's fair, don't you? Let's put some of this sauce on top of these barbecued ribs and then I'm going to put them right back on the barbecue again. So just a generous amount. I think that's good enough. Off to the Barbie. I'm going to turn it up to about 450 degrees, cook it for another 10 minutes. Be back in a sec. I've just had it on broil for 5 minutes and now I'm coating the other side. Let's give it about another 5 to 7 and we're good to go on these. These have been on for about an hour on 300 degrees and I'm ready to drain them and add barbecue sauce. I'm going to use the very same commercial barbecue sauce as I did before on the barbecued ribs. This one, what you do, just pour it in generously, okay? If you can see that, no big deal there. And then I'm going to flip them, put some on the back side. I'm going to put my lid back on, my Dutch little oven as I told you, put them back in the oven, 300 degrees for about another 30 minutes. I'll be right back. I've just plated these two ribs. This one is the one that we did on the barbecue in the tin foil. It's a little drier, not as juicy, but I have a feeling that the flavor is soaked right inside. Whereas this one that we boiled and then put the barbecue sauce on, it looks very juicy. They're the same rib, but as you can see, totally different technique. The boiled one allowed me to have a lot of delicious barbecue sauce. It's got some of those onions in it. I did take the bay leaves out. This one over here totally sucks. I mean, come on. It's brown, it's crispy, it smells like chili and cumin and paprika. Oh, it's got some juices coming out of it. Who wants that? Compared to over here, oh, it smells like chili and cumin. It's got juices coming out of it. It's just glazing happiness. Ciao for now.